Aha! No one is watching with no sound. Thank you. So hopefully you can hear me now. Mistakes were made. Good evening, though. Hope you're all well. What is that? That's my... Okay. Right. Hopefully you can hear me now. Sorry, I was hunting because I was convinced... Oh. And why are you seeing my desktop? There we go. I don't think you need to see my desktop. Yes, I was hunting for some Blade Guard veterans. I made 7 of them, I guess. Some of them I did custom swords on. Good evening. How you doing? Mark, Travis, Adam, Carbus? I haven't seen you before, I'm not sure. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. So, not really any plan tonight except get some more paint on some models. That's the way it goes, right? I have been working on my Vanguard vets though, off stream. Hopefully you guys can see these. They are coming along. I mean, I've got the base colours down almost ready for washing on these guys. A bit of work yet to do, but they're coming along nicely. I'm doing 11 of them on a batch paint, so I think they're kind of... I wasn't sure about making them gold, right? I'm new and shiny. Well, welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning in. I need to make one quick Facebook post actually as well, because I forgot to post on Facebook that we're going live. Yeah, so I wasn't sure about doing these Vanguard veterans in gold, right? But I feel like they've turned out really well. And those are those custom shields that I was showing you from Cromlech. I think they've turned out really well. I mean, these only have base colours, right? There's no washes or anything on these guys yet. But I think, like, for being... Oh, yeah, and for these guys, I actually put the... I'm not sure if you can see it there. I put what is it, like a Primaris unit's head helmet on them, because I thought, like, these guys are one step away from joining the Sanguinary Guard, really. So yeah, I think these guys are going to look awesome when they're done. A bit of work to do on them yet. But I've been working on them for like 3 weeks now. I'm pretty slow at painting, I'm sure you guys know. If you watch the channel, you know I'm slow at painting, but good evening. Marcel, how you doing? Mike's, nice to see you. That is awesome. Looking good. Oh, gold Blade Guard. Nice vets, looking good. My mission tonight, finish Redemptor. Cool. Yeah, I haven't had much of a chance to paint this week, and I guess, like, I have got tomorrow's video completely filmed and ready to go, and I guess what's happening tomorrow is, it's important to note that, like, tomorrow we are, well, tomorrow's the day before the pre-orders, right, for the new, let me get this right, the new Storm Speeder is out tomorrow. Or the new Storm Speeder is out on Saturday for pre-order. It'll be coming out in like a week's time. So I have a video with a ton of something. With all the math hammer for the new Storm Speeder. So if you wanna check out that video tomorrow, it'll be live around 1 o'clock. And yeah, we basically break down the entire new Storm Speeder, all its stratagems, its tactics. We math hammer against similar units. So that should be a pretty cool video to watch. If you weren't sure about if you're buying one, then I give you a verdict at the end of the video as well on whether or not I think you should buy one. So, okay, I put on some music tonight as well, so if the music's too quiet or too loud, please let me know. And yeah, what's up, Soundwave? Nice to see you. And I just want to check one final thing. Ah, yeah. Yeah, so I'm using Restream for the well, not the first time, I guess, but yeah, I just need to quickly change something, I guess, because I'm learning still with YouTube. My Blood Priest and 3 boxes of Sanguinary Guard final came in. loads of people were saying they were finding it very difficult to buy or find Sanguinary Guards. So I mean, that's cool that you found some. I mean, I didn't realize. I know that. I guess there's some just in general. There must be some stock shortages, right? Like Games Workshop are struggling to get stock of a few different things. So I might actually start with white tonight on these guys, and I mean, it might be the wrong call, but I'm gonna try it. I think we're gonna start with some white. I'm sorry, I do not speak Russian. So I don't know what you're saying. If you can throw it in Google Translate. Google Translate's generally very good now, but I don't speak Russian, unfortunately. I think that's Russian. It looks like it. They just re-upped Librarian Dreadnought USA for the first time in a few months. Yeah, I mean, I guess they just must have really been struggling to get certain items through the stock with the pandemic. I mean, everything is a little bit more difficult to get a hold of. I guess raw materials and stuff as well. Why? Why what? Why start with white? Because I fancy doing some white on the shields. I've done other Blade Guard veterans with the white on the shields, and I think it's quite different, I guess, to my normal colour scheme, but I think it looks pretty cool. So we're going to try it again. Oh, you can write English. Well, hello, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. How you doing, brother? Hope you're well. My local store owner knows me. He had ordered 5 boxes when I bought the Codex. Wow, how many Sanguinary Guard have I already got? I was sad that the Golden Host box was finally removed from the store. You get the Sanguiner free. Selling them on eBay was a fantastic way of getting discount. See, I don't buy from the official GW store much because like here in the UK anyway, the resellers always have it like 15-20 bucks cheaper, and I'm a sucker for a cheap deal, right? If I can get something cheaper, I generally will shop around and buy it somewhere that's cheaper, but that's not a bad idea, like selling on the Sanguiner to make some money. Let me just move this a tiny bit. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. Nice. So yeah, the new Storm Speeder is coming out for pre-order on Saturday, as well as I think some Dark Angel stuff is on Saturday pre-order. Oh, we get the Eradicators with the actual Meltagun, so that'll be cool as well. Not the Meltagun, sorry, the Multi-Melta. Finally get the multi-part Eradicator kits, and I guess we finally get the multi-part Blade Guard Veteran kits. But like, look at this is a Sanguinary Guard sword. Just like I chopped off this arm. Put on that's actually a Terminator shoulder pad, so that's a Blood Angel's Terminator shoulder pad and a Sanguinary Guard sword. So I kind of did a little bit of customization on these normal kits. I don't think they're so bad. But my Indominus didn't arrive till October, so I mean I'm still way behind the curve on doing these. I've actually only used them on the table once, but I think these guys are actually quite strong. You know, for 35 points, they're basically the same point cost as a Sanguinary Guard, right? But they have 1 more wound and they have the 4+ invulnerable save. So, like, I generally think for Blood Angels, these guys are really cool. You know, the only issue, I suppose, is like whether or not you have to take that Impulsor. The Impulsor is expensive though, so like I kind of feel like you just have to run them across the battlefield. Audio is going out or getting something wacky feedback. Ugh. I have been having problems with this microphone. Ugh. I have been having problems with this microphone. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I bought a microphone that had good reviews, and yeah, I have had some audio issues with it. I guess it's... do you know what? I just ordered another microphone the other day, but that was for like our live game setup, but maybe I just need to order another microphone for home as well. Sorry if the audio is a bit patchy. It's happened a couple of times. I don't actually know why. And the fingerless gloves while I'm in the house is... yeah, it's just... did I put the radiator on? Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, we just have a very old house and it doesn't keep the heat in it at all in winter. Oh shit, just bash everything. This house was built in like, I think they said 1875, and I guess in 1875 they didn't know shit about insulation. So, you know, it's basically like if you put the heater on, it will be hot as long as you keep the heater on. The second you turn the heater off for 10 minutes, it's cold again. So it's not economical to heat this. It's not economical to heat the whole house, right? In winter, just wear more clothes. What's funny because they don't know anything about insulation, is the exact opposite in summer. So you'd be surprised to know that there's actually like a roof fan that I installed in here, because the first summer that we bought the house, it was like super hot and almost unbearable. So it's a bit like a caravan, I guess. Like, I don't know if you've ever lived in a caravan, in that the caravan's too cold in winter and too hot in summer. It's exactly like that. I'm on the mission to buy a new house at some point. Now you've got... I'm gonna have to... The problem is, like, I had a different sound card and it died on me, so I started using this new sound card, but I guess... Honestly, this computer that I'm using is very old now as well, so at some point in the near future I will buy a new computer, and I really hope when I buy a new... You know, maybe it's not even the microphone, maybe it's just this computer being shit. I could have probably bought a new computer if I hadn't spent $1,000 on Warhammer this year, you know? I'm sure you guys all know that feeling. Are you looking to throw these guys in an Impulsor? You know, I did run 5 in an Impulsor with an Apothecary, and I thought it was really effective. Like, I really liked it. But in the new list I've built, I actually don't have them going in an Impulsor. They're just going to run across the battlefield. But I still have like Sanguinary Guard and I still have Death Company, so I feel like I've got enough jump units to maybe compensate for the fact that these guys don't have jump packs. And like, a lot of people have been talking about using Blade Guards to hold the middle of the map, so that was kind of my thought that we could do, is like have the Blade Guards not have to worry about going too far in the back line, like a really tanky unit to hold the middle. You know, I'm desperate to play, because obviously now we've not played in like over a month because of this stupid lockdown. So the second the lockdown ends, we're going to be playing, and the games will be live streamed on the channel, so you'll get to see these Blade Guard, hopefully. I've got a lot to paint for this new list though, so I'm decided that my new list is going to have no Forge World in it. I mean, I have a lot of Forge World models, and generally I really love the Forge World stuff, but just wanted to make a couple of lists with no Forge World in it, because like people are asking on the channel, they're saying like, hey, is there lists, you're always running Forge World? And it's like, yeah, I mean, I generally think the Forge World stuff's good, and I think it's balanced enough, but yeah, I'm gonna get like a really strong list together that isn't doesn't have any Forge World in it, and I'm gonna run it on the channel a bunch of times so people can see it and take it from there. Have you updated the audio drivers? I mean, I'm not sure, because like, you know, when you plug in a microphone and it just comes up as like USB microphone, and like it doesn't really have drivers, I guess. That's what this microphone appears as. But like, there was a microphone in this headset that I'm wearing, like one of these ones that you pull out, but like it's even shitter than this one on the desk, so I'm just having a look. I mean, the one on the desk wasn't cheap either, because it's like one of these condenser microphones, you know, and it's on like this massive, like I can show you, you know, like it's. Can you see it? It's not like a super cheap microphone, you know. It's like a proper desk mounted thing. I don't know. It's just been shit. If you're looking for a desk microphone, I would not recommend this one. I actually watched Midwinter's Minis videos. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a pretty big channel on YouTube, and on his Christmas video, someone asked him what microphone he had, and I was like, right, just add that microphone to my Amazon basket. So I guess I will get it. It's in there. It's just, yeah, generally annoying me. Yeah, I thought the white shield would look cool, Andrew. Just sort of the inner part of the shield, I'll probably give it like a red border, right? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's one thing I love about Blood Angels, right? It's like we have black, we have red, and we have gold, and I feel like you can just do whatever the hell we want with it, or at least I do. You know, like I painted my Reavers in Death Company colours just because like they had those skull masks, and it just felt to me like it made a lot of sense to paint them up in Death Company, even though they're not. I still think they look really sad that Reavers didn't get a buff this edition. Like, I just don't know who's running them. Like, nobody. A bit like Suppressors, like nobody's picking them. Like, all they got this edition was like an extra -1 on their bolt pistol. Whoop-de-doo. You know, so I was actually thinking that they were going to make Reavers like the Primaris melee unit at the start of 8th edition, but I guess I don't know what they decided with that, but it's like Reavers and Suppressors are like the units that Time forgot. They just don't care about them for some reason. But I think they could care about them, and I think they could be pretty cool. The Reavers certainly look cool, you know, like a lot of people just love the Reaver helmets, if nothing else, but then, you know, like you just don't see them at any sort of competitive game at all. I think your audio is affected by your mobile data stream. Oh, really? So if I turned off mobile internet on my phone, it would... That's what's messing up. Interesting. I mean, I always have my phone like in my pocket or on my desk, so maybe that is... maybe that's the... I'll try that next time. Yeah, I think it is a cool idea. Like, I just like the gold spray is generally a really good spray. My friend Andrew, actually, who's in the stream, he's doing Custodes right now, and he was using the gold spray, and I just think it gives awesome coverage, right? Like some of the other sprays, it's like, see, if when I spray them with Mephiston Red, I usually feel like you still maybe need to give them another coat of Mephiston Red, or like you need to give them a coat of like Evil Sun Scarlet. But I think the gold spray is killer. I really like it. You have a good mic and you spent less than 60 on it. See, this mic I've got cost me like 90. I mean, that included the stand, but still, I mean, like $90 for a mic, you would think it would be decent. And I did read a few reviews. I generally look on YouTube for reviews and stuff before I buy shit. Like, I don't just buy it blindly. Yeah, I think these shields will look quite cool, right? Like, they're like the Knights Templar. The white's probably going to need a second coat because white over gold. But still, I mean, this is a really solid white. Like, it's not bad for a first coat over gold. Much better than the Games Workshop white, that's for sure. I did the Iron Hands Bolters white and they look decent, I think. Yeah, I saw some. I think we had some of your Iron Hands white bolters on the stream and they were pretty cool, weren't they? Evening, what are we working on? Just finished base coating my Sanguinary Guard and touching up my infiltrators now. Nice. Yeah, I've got some infiltrators to do. I've got some more Vanguard veterans to do. And I've got company veterans. And we did some magnet work this week. Yeah, I'm trying to get this new list together. Oh, cool, look at this. This is a custom Blood Angel shield that I bought on eBay. So this is actually different than the other Blade Guard veteran shields, right? Let me put the white on it and we'll see how it looks. So this is, as I say, this is a completely custom shield. You can tell it's 3D printed because if you look really closely at it, you can see the sort of little print lines that the 3D printers create. I'm not sure why they create that. I guess that's just how they must print the layers of plastic, I guess. I think the audio was dropping out a little bit, but hopefully it's not now. Theo says, can someone tell me good Blood Angels Primaris options? I mean, depends. It's kind of a broad question, good Blood Angels Primaris options. If you watch my channel, you'll know that I think the Phobos troops are the best troops that we can field, so they're all Primaris. Infiltrators and Incursors. I mean, Assault Intercessors aren't bad either. And then, let me think what other Primaris stuff that I run in my army. I mean, these Blade Guards that I'm painting right now are pretty cool. Eradicators are pretty great. Aggressors aren't so great right now, but they'll probably come back, you know. I can't imagine, you know, they've just fallen a little bit out of the competitive scene. I imagine that they'll get a buff at some point. Aggressors will be back. And then the other thing that I definitely recommend that's Primaris is the Redemptor Dreadnought, right? Like, the Dreadnought is badass. It's really cost efficient, and it's generally very survivable because of the Duty Eternal. So if you haven't got a Redemptor Dreadnought, I totally advise you get one. I think it's really great. Plug and play devices have drivers pre-installed. Sometimes they have other updates, but your mic is dying. There isn't too much to eye up a replacement. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the mic's dying. I just don't think it plays very nicely with this computer because, like, it works for long periods of time, and then a couple of weeks ago when I was doing a battle report, like, it just did all this weird static, and I had to like redo a couple of takes. But then I reboot the computer and it worked fine. So it is a plug and play one, but it's like, maybe I should just reboot before every time I stream because I mean the computer's been on all day now, so you know it's 10 o'clock, so the computer's been on since like 7, so like 15 hours, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna buy a new computer, don't worry. I stole my Blade Guard painted scheme from the video Duncan Rhodes did when in Indomitus Launch. Yeah, you know what? Duncan does amazing painting videos. I watched his Indomitus one a little while ago. You know, tonight I'm just laying down some base colours, so maybe I'll rewatch that at some point in the near future, and we'll take some of his techniques to you know, take these guys over the finish line, or whatever you want to call it. Good evening, Gitley. How you doing? Good evening, Highland. Army Painter Dragon Red is a great base. Do you know what? I haven't used Army Painter Dragon Red, but I've seen a few people talk about it. I guess just I've done too much in my army with Mephiston Red, so I'd be very reluctant to change my red colour halfway. Well, maybe not halfway through because my pile of shame was like 10,000 points, but a third of the way through all the models that I own. Because I think I must be coming up on like 7,000 points of Painted Blood Angels, which doesn't actually sound that much, but when you only paint as slow as I do, it is a lot, I guess. So those custom shield, I mean, that's going to need some tidying up because it's quite hard to get into some of those detail areas, but the custom Blood Angel shield looks pretty cool, right? You see that? I think it's going to be pretty cool. Have you ever painted Crimson Paladins? I haven't painted Crimson Paladins. I have a couple of their shields, and I have one that I just stuck on this Death Company bike a few nights ago. I think I did this on stream, so I just started painting a Death Company bike, and I put a Crimson Paladin shield on the front of it because I thought it would be quite cool because he needs to have his Storm Shield, and I magnetized him as well, so he's got his Thunder Hammer. But I guess if we have to come against Mortarion, then we can have our Archangel Shard. And and I need to get this guy sprayed. I'm waiting on a delivery of spray paint though, so hopefully it arrives before the weekend. It's going to be some nice weather. I say nice weather, it's going to be like 4 degrees and not rainy, so nice enough to spray, I guess, but not nice enough for really much else. Do you have any Age of Sigmar models? You know what, I do have some, but I don't think any of them are assembled or painted. I kind of, although the channel is all about the Blood Angels, they are like my number one passion. I do collect and buy other stuff. I actually bought a new board game, just arrived today actually. I could show you. Maybe some of you guys know this game. Oh, wrong way. Aliens. Another glorious day in the core. So this is a 6-player cooperative survival game where you play as the characters from the original movie. You have like Hudson, Hicks, Vasquez, Gorman, Ripley, Newt, and Frost. And then you have 16 aliens. So I just bought this today. I also have over here the drop pod still in its cellophane, so I got that to do as well. But I've been wanting that Aliens game for months actually. Like it got delayed and got delayed and got delayed, but no, it just finally came. So that would be anyone else getting horrendous feedback noises? Yes. What is up with this damn microphone? I'm gonna have to climb down behind the desk and find where it plugs in and see if maybe we can plug it into another USB port. I will do that before the next stream, unless it is really my phone data plan. Hold on, let me turn off data on this phone. How do I do that again? Alright, well data is now off on my phone, so if it happens again, I guess let me know, and if it doesn't happen again, then we'll know it's the data. But I can get down under the table and try and, before I stream again, I'll try and either change out the USB port that this microphone's plugged into or something. I don't know if you heard me when I was saying that I bought an Aliens cooperative game, so hopefully that'll be quite cool. I have no idea when. Seems stupid to buy a cooperative game in the middle of a pandemic, but I did order it a while back, so before we quite knew how long things were going to be all locked down for. Sad times. I need to paint my Kit Bash Smash Captain parts for my 4 kits, 5 if I give them a Thunderhammer. I love making kit bashes where you use like the maximum number of kits. If you can use a different kit for every part of the model, that's like when kit bashing all comes together perfectly, right? Where every single part of the model is a different kit. That is, you know, like sometimes I buy kits and barely use anything in them and just keep them for the fun of kit bashing like that. Especially like the Sangreguard kits and the Death Company kits, they have so many good bits for Blood Angels. It's almost sad that like the new Blood Angels Death Company, the Intercessors, didn't come with all those cool original Death Company bits. So I mean, I bought another Death Company box just so I have even more of those bits. That's gonna, if it was my mobile data, that's gonna have solved me some headache, brother, so hopefully you're right, because I've been dealing with this stupid microphone ever since I bought it. The microphone's been having issues. Maybe didn't have issues in like the first few weeks or something, but after that, you know, it's just had issues all the time. I assumed it was something to do with the drivers, or so, kind of was just blaming it on how old this computer is now, because I kind of thought that might just be the problem. I don't really play any like cutting edge games really that need a super fast computer, so yeah, I've just been using, just been happy with the one I have. Alright, I'm gonna have to go under the desk and find this USB slot. You're gonna have to give me a minute. Alright. Move the phone away from my... I'm not sure. Do you guys hear me now in a different there's a different USB slot. Testing. Alright, what about now? I don't want to blow anyone's eardrums out. Alright, what about now? Eardrums out. Yeah, we good? Alright. I'm gonna have to play with it. I don't know what the hell is going on. Fun time. Sorry about that, guys. Just shows this paint maybe needs a little bit of rehydration. Want to become famous and buy followers and views on Twitch? Not really, bro, but thanks for spamming the channel. Right, so sorry about that. I guess a few people have just tuned in not too long ago, and I guess the wet palette. No, we still don't have a wet palette. Yeah, we will get there one day. I promise you. I promise you, we'll get to wet palette. I had quite a lot to do this week actually, and I was saying just before, or I was saying at the beginning of the stream, the video for tomorrow was totally filmed. It's all uploaded. It's ready to go out about lunchtime UK time, and tomorrow's video we're looking at the new Storm Speeder, I think it's called. It's basically the new Primaris land speeder. So tomorrow's video's got all its maths hammer. It's got like, we look at the strategies, we look at tactics, we look at comparisons. So hopefully that video will be pretty useful on determining whether you want to buy a Storm Speeder when they go on pre-order on Saturday. And yeah, in other news, I guess, in the UK now, 10% of people have the COVID vaccination. So that's taken like 2 weeks. So at some point, hopefully soon, things will start to open up again. And when they do, my God, we're playing some Warhammer, because I am missing it something terrible. I don't know how you guys are surviving as well. What do you think of heavy intercessors for Blood Angels? I like them. I was thinking of going halves with someone on that new kill team box to get the heavy intercessors. I think you could play, I forget the name of the stratagem, where you can give a sergeant one of the special issue war gear. I think you could play that to give the sergeant like quake bolts, and then have a heavy intercessor with a 42-inch range sniping people, and giving you what was it again? Giving everything that they hit +1 to hit in close combat. I think that's pretty cool. I also think that the heavy intercessors can probably just sit and hold backfield objectives very safely, because they are in that Gravis armor. The 42-inch range is also really nice, you know, doesn't matter which objective they are on, they'll probably be able to still shoot at some target. The rifles, the executioner ones, aren't half bad. It's strength 5 -2 damage, so you know, against other infantry, you're going to be wounding on 3s, so hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s at 42 inches, and you're killing like a Primaris Marine with 1 hit, right? Because it's 2 damage a pop. I think heavy intercessors will be cool. I think they'll be stronger for other chapters, but I can totally see, you could totally see a situation where like I would just take a squad of heavy intercessors to sit in my backfield. So yeah, I think that is cool, Bill. I would definitely consider heavy intercessors. D King says, wanted to say this before, but yeah, one against the Tau in stream. Not sure if you watched it, BA Commander, but it was a ton of fun to do. Do you know what? I watched like I skipped through the video and like followed the VP D King, but like, you know, during the week, I guess my time is very, very limited. I mean, I've kind of set up the YouTube channel so that like I make all my videos on weeknights, and then like I keep my weekends free. So yeah, I don't, you know, I haven't watched your video yet. Last night I was filming my video and editing it for the Friday, and on the night before that I was like creating all the math hammer and stuff for it. So yeah, on weeknights I'm generally very busy. I'm playing Death Guard soon, hopefully 1500 points. Any tip on taking on Morty's boys? List contains Morty. Ugh, I think I think you're going to need a Librarian with Null Zone. I think that's going to be possibly the most important thing for fighting Death Guard. Maybe even the second most important thing will be some way to make sure that you can fight first or not have to fight last. That's also going to be super important. I haven't played Death Guard yet since their change, but I will play them as soon as the lockdown ends. But yeah, for killing Mortarion, I guess there's two ways to deal with. You either have to try and avoid Mortarion, or you just have to try and kill him. But I mean, I would almost say avoid him until he becomes right in your face, because so if you can shoot him with a couple of Eradicators or something and maybe take a few wounds off him before you get in melee combat range, that would be super helpful. He's going to be a nightmare for you to kill in melee combat, in that you really need 2 damage weapons don't help you at all. So Sanguinary Guard are going to be generally very weak against him. I mean, Chainswords and Thunderhammers are going to be what kills him, but I mean, what's going to help a lot is being able to cast Null Zone. That's going to help so much. Gitly said, I am one of the 10%. The 10% that does what? Sorry, Gitly, I missed that. Is the Twitch chat repeating or spamming? Apparently, I'm just having all the technical issues tonight. I don't know why Twitch chat would be repeating or spamming on the screen. One heavy intercessor squad might be good as a back midfield objective holder, and giving the stratagem so they can hit for Quake Bolts is an interesting option. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I think we'll see that get some play for sure. Just because that's almost it's not a guaranteed Quake Bolts, but it's a very reliable Quake Bolts in that just the 42-inch range and the fact you can deploy those guys in cover, so you've got. And I mean, the fact you can get a +1 save on the Gravis armor as well means that if you're in cover and you get shot, you can essentially be on a 1-up save. And, units with a 1-up save, I guess, are generally pretty difficult to shift, unless, especially because they've got toughness 5 and 3 wounds, they're going to be crazy difficult to shift, just as a troop choice. So, I will buy a squad of heavy intercessors as soon as they release, or I'll probably end up going halves on that kill team box. And, taking it from there, I think. Oh, the 10% who have had the vaccine. Well, congrats, man. I'm glad to hear that if you've got your vaccine, good for you. The sooner that they get this rolled out, the better, really. It seems like, anyway. I was out for a little while tonight to get shopping and something, and there's a group of 10 people, all within 2 meters of each other, not a single mask to be seen. So, I guess that's always fun, when you're staying at home and not seeing anybody, and yeah. So this is another one that I converted with a custom sword. Just a slightly longer sword there. One of the Imperium. I think this is a Vanguard veteran sword actually. So I got a custom shield on one, custom sword on 2 of them. This guy was the lieutenant, but I've just put a custom head on him, and he's just going to join the Vanguard veterans because I already made and painted one of these lieutenants, so he can be the sergeant. Yeah. Why not? A little bit of kit bash, just enough to add some flavour to these guys, I guess. Send a throwaway unit or Mortarion and try and pull him where you want him to be. Yeah, I mean, the other option with Mortarion is to try and have a really cheap character get into close combat with them. I mean, if it's a Death Company character and you can use some Death Visions to give him a 3+ invulnerable save, that could definitely slow him down. And you can use, Angel Sacrifice to make him have to target all his attacks against that character. I mean, if you had a Death Company and a character you could throw against him like that, that's certainly an option. But yeah, I think generally Mortarion is quite scary. He's crazy tanky right now. When I first saw his rules, I honestly thought they maybe made a mistake and they'd given him, like, I felt like if he was getting toughness 8, he didn't need to get -1 to all damage as well. Because that's crazy with 18 wounds. But I mean, I guess we'll see. Like, I feel like he's borderline, like, too powerful. But I mean, there is, if you do the right strategy, I think there still is ways to bring him down fairly easy. I think Null Zone is going to be super helpful. If you do manage to get that off, I mean, it means you can kill him in one turn with a lot less units. So I guess if you didn't watch my video on Librarians last week, go watch it, and that'll tell you. I guess there's 2 or 3 different Librarian options you could take that give you like a reliable Null Zone that can like move around the battlefield quite quickly with Wings of Sanguinius and or a jump pack. I'm playing Eldar and need tips. Got any? I mean, I played Eldar recently on the channel and I did beat them. But I mean, it depends. You know, Eldar usually have a lot of psychers. They can potentially take those psychic missions where they just need to hold the middle of the board and cast their powers and get points every turn. So, I mean, Eldar are a bit weird in that, like, I think Master Crafter is probably the thing that they're gonna, you know, most Eldar players I think right now are using that Master Crafter, so they get a lot of rerolls and they got like those shurikens that do -3 AP on 6s. So I think like with the Eldar, you just have to pick your battle as well. Tips wise, I feel like sort of the standard Blood Angel strategy works, where you want to do a little bit of shooting. Like the Eldar list can be very shooting, but I mean they do have some dedicated close combat units like Wraithguard and stuff, but you know, I think what you want to do is just hold your ground or hold smart for a couple of turns and then try and get into combat after turn 3. And if you have some semblance of shooting, try and use that to take out any sort of big threats and or psychic threats, because they have, you know, they have some big psychers that have like 12, like those Wraith. I think I said Wraith Guard. I don't remember. There's definitely Wraiths that are psychers that have like 12 wounds in their vehicles, right? So, I kind of cocked up the white there a bit, but that's fine. So I mean, I guess just be aware of their psychic power, and also just be ready to, you know, try and do a little bit of damage and then get in close combat with the right targets. Without knowing the list, it's very difficult for me to just arbitrarily say how to beat Eldar, I feel like. Go Blade Guards, I like it. Painting my now, they're kicking my butt. I can't wait to field these bad boys. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing... I thought the gold... I mean, they're veterans, right? So, like, rather than the gold helm, I just decided to give them gold armor. I really want to bring the Archangel Shard, but it just feels like I'm built really countering. Well, I mean, I literally just showed you how I have a captain where I magnetized on a sword. So, you can sit on a bike, and you can bring an Archangel Shard. There we go. That's what if that's what you need to win the game, brother. I mean, it is a little bit countering, but I mean, put a Thunderhammer on him. Give him Wrath of Baal. No, not Wrath. Is it Wrath of Baal? Wrath of Baal, Hammer of Baal, whatever it's called. I think I got it wrong this week. Someone, I think it maybe have been Highland Phoenix, corrected me in my YouTube video. Whatever a Relic Thunderhammer is, I mean, it's very, very similar. You know, and I mean, it'll still do good damage. But yeah, I mean, Archangel Shard is generally going to be amazing against Mortarion. So, but I mean, yeah. So the guy who was asking about Mortarion, yeah, give a character Archangel Shard. That's going to be amazing, and it's a flat 4 damage. But it does feel like you're just countering that one build a bit. So I guess you just need to be aware of that. He is a demon Primark. He should be almost OP. Points have to reflect that, though. Yeah, maybe, you know what? Maybe they'll leave him where he is, and maybe they just need to put his points up like 50 more points or something. That might be one way to do it. I think the Bike Captain with a Mastercrafted Power Sword and Shield in the Death Company could be nice with a Shard. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a Mastercrafted Power Sword, just a regular Power Sword, and then it can become the Archangel Shard, right? Yeah, the Hammer of Baal. The Hammer of Baal. Yeah, sorry. So the Wrath of... That's what it is. The Wrath of Baal is the thing that lets us move 2 more, and the Hammer of Baal... I think maybe I called the Hammer the Wrath in the video this week. But, yeah, so... I guess... my thought really would be... you know, like... The Hammer of Baal is just... It's... You know, like on a Bike Captain, it's great. If you give him, like, what's the thing? Imperium Sword. So he's like a captain. He's got 4 attacks, 5 from charging, 6 from Savage Echoes, 7 from being part of the Death Company, 8 from the Imperium Sword, 8 attacks, hitting on 2s, and it's strength 9 because you're Imperium Sword, right? So then you'll be able to hit Mortarion on 2s, be able to wound Mortarion in 2s, and I mean, it's a flat 3 damage, so it's not quite the same 4 damage, but I mean, it's still you know, 2 damage a time, and there is that Death Vision of Sanguinius you could play to give him even more attacks based on how many models are around in the area as well, right? So that could be a completely interesting option. You know, like if there's 10 Poxwalkers in the area, then you've got 10 attacks. If you've got a way to turn off Mortarion's invulnerable save, like I said, with Null Zone, you could do a lot of damage to him. And then the other interesting thing would be if you did have that Psyker with the... You know, if you did have that Psyker to turn off the Null Zone, then you could have Fury of the Ancients on that Psyker as well to give him... To be able to give another character another +1 attack, right? So you could actually have 9 attacks with the Hammer of Baal. I mean, if you had 9 attacks with Archangel Shard doing a flat 4 damage, I mean, you would hit on 2s. You'd only wound on 4s with the Archangel Shard. So do you know what? It probably actually averages out. You do a bit more damage, but you wound on 2s compared to wound on 4s. So I mean, like, the Hammer of Baal probably doesn't feel like you're countering a list, right? You're just taking the Hammer of Baal, which is a really strong general relic for Blood Angels that will kill just about anything that people run into. That's precisely why I made that guy over there that I just showed you magnetized, because I think the Hammer of Baal on him is actually a really interesting option. And I mean, with a Storm Shield and being on a bike, then he's like toughness 5. He has 6 wounds. He has a 6+ feel no pain. He has a 4+ invulnerable save. He has a 2+ regular save. So I mean, he's quite survivable, I guess. And yeah, it's amazing the difference between toughness 4 and toughness 5 for survivability. It makes a lot of difference, actually. You know, like basically on all those small arms weapons, all of a sudden you go from like, oh, we've hit you with 10 bolters. Well, we've wounded you 5 times, so like we've wounded you twice. You know, like it makes a big difference against the small arms fire. Also makes a big difference against stuff like multi-meltas, where it's like rather than being wounding on 2s, and it might make a difference against Mortarion. It might not, because he's got that new -1 toughness aura. I don't actually know fully how that works, but yeah, it might not make a difference against Mortarion, but against other things, it's generally pretty great, I think. Captains can't take normal power swords. They're all mastercrafted, I believe. I think a regular captain can take a power sword. Maybe Primaris captains can't take power swords, but we all know that the Primaris units are limited in some really weird ways. I honestly think Games Workshop could probably have made a lot more money if they'd just given more Primaris options, you know? It's you know, like if they'd sold Primaris jetpacks, like everybody would have bought Primaris jetpacks. I don't think anyone would have complained about it. Everyone would have just bought them. people are actually actively converting like Sanguinary Guard and stuff into Primaris size models because they just want them that badly. That's okay, these relics... Yeah, I mean... Does anyone ever run Terminator squads, and how do you utilise them? So I've run Terminator squads a couple of times fallen in 9th edition. And I've run them against... I think I ran them against Eldar, and I think I ran them against Necrons. And I mean, both times it was close combat Terminators, and both times I ran them with a Sanguinary Priest, because I thought, like, it was right at the beginning of 9th, or right after they released the Space Marine Codex, and I was like, oh my god, bringing back to life a 40-point Terminator model every turn seems quite powerful. And I mean, the answer to that is yes, it is really powerful. It's almost like edging on this. It's edging on the, like, it's almost broken. Like, it's that strong. So how would I use Terminators? I mean, I've used them in a Land Raider in 9th edition. Like, I've used assault ones for deep striking, and I've used the regular ones in Land Raiders and just had them pop out the Land Raider and, like, hose down an enemy squad or something, and then take an objective, do some stuff with their power fists. So I think Terminators can be run in 9th edition, and I think they are good with the 3 wounds now. I think that they benefit a lot if they have someone to buff them, for example, right? They don't have the most attacks. So I guess that's why some people really like Lightning Claws. And when we were talking about Terminators and Lightning Claws and all that on a stream maybe like a week ago now, we actually worked out that against Toughness 8 as a Blood Angel, a Lightning Claw actually has a 55% chance to wound Toughness 8. Because obviously normally Toughness 8, it would be 6s, but we have the +1 from Red Thirst, so that makes it 5s. So we wound 33% of the time, but then we get to re-roll the dice. So that's against another 66%, and again we wound 33% of the 66, which is 22. So yeah, you get a 55% chance to wound Toughness 8 with Blood Angels with Lightning Claws. So I mean, when you talk about that, I actually think that's pretty good, considering Lightning, like, considering by equipping 2 sets of Lightning Claws or 2 pairs of Lightning Claws, you get extra attacks and stuff. So, I mean, I guess that's a couple of ways that you could play Terminators. I guess, I mean, leave it up to yourself and how you would use them. And do you know what? I think if we get the live battle show going again once the COVID thing has settled down again, then we'll aim to run Terminators just so people can see them on the live show as well. I like Terminators a lot. I actually have a lot of them. Like, I want to say, like, I've got 40 Terminators or something like that. All the way back to the very early Rogue Trader Terminators that look terrible in comparison to everything else now. Unless there's been an FAQ, some people miss that it's still -3. Yeah, the Hammer of Baal is -3. That's one of the reasons why it's still so strong, I guess. My army has 3 squads of Relic Terminators, and they come in from Deep Strike with a Chaplain on the Icon of the Angel for the reroll. Yeah, how did that do then for you? Go give us the rundown of that, D-King. I will try and catch up and watch that, or at least I'll watch some of your video this weekend. But yeah, tell us how your... Because we reviewed that in the stream last week, right? So tell us how your deep striking 3 squads of Relic Terminators went. I've only been into Warhammer for a few months. I just finished painting my first female... Where am I getting that from? I finished painting my first Termini and wanted to know if they're any use. Well, I mean, if D-King won a game this week and he's running 15 of them, I've used them. When you're saying you're painting your first one, are you painting... Yeah, what type of Terminator? Is it like a close combat Terminator, assault Terminator? What weapons does it have, I guess, is my question. Will you do fan character build reviews? I plan to run Terminators as Death Watch. I don't know if I'm looking at, like, we're just primarily focused on Blood Angels here at the moment. You know, maybe once we've done all the Blood Angels videos for this edition, we can start looking at other things. But yeah, for the moment, I think we're going to keep looking at Blood Angels for a little while longer. But I mean, there's probably more things we can do with the fans. I haven't worked out all the things yet, so I guess stay tuned on that. But you know, next time I have a good bit of time to work on something, I will probably work on some other fan-based content. So I'm trying to decide if the inside of these shields should have this red border on them as well. I mean, it's early in that, like, this isn't the final red that I'll be putting on it. So I'll probably I'll probably bring this up with even brighter with Evil Sun Scarlet. But it is interesting because, like, obviously we're just painting as we go. We didn't really have a plan for where we want to go. Like, maybe the inside being black might be quite cool. Do you know what? Now I'm talking about black, I was wondering if the edge might have been better as black. I guess I'll have to think about it. Deathwing Terminators get transhuman and objective skewered. Yeah, I read that. That does sound insanely good. And someone was asking about submitting a list. Yeah, you go over to the community page on the YouTube channel. That's where you want to submit your list, and then I'll pick it up and add it to the queue for future list submissions, essentially. So we do all that over on the community tab. Just go to the latest community post and just post your list in there, and that's where we go to look at list submissions. I've lost my place in the chat, so give me a second. Terminator should be toughness 5. Yeah, maybe Terminator should have been toughness 5. Lightning Claw Terminators are nasty. I charged a knight with 5-man squad, turn 3 with a chaplain with a reroll, and they did 12 wounds to the knight. That's pretty good, yeah. The Lightning Claws come to their own, don't they? Don't know why I like to paint my Blood Angels rims with Mephiston red. Seeing yours in all black is odd to me. Yeah, I think it's because I do the bases of my guys in some sort of, like, I think this is like not what is this again? This is like Xandri dust, and there's a contrast paint that uses Xandri dust, and I use that, so I guess that's why. The normal squad with the Indomitus armor. I mean, those Terminators are fine. Like, I don't think that the shooting Terminators are bad by any means. So if you've got a Terminator squad of shooting, like, I'd almost say just finish them. I'm sure they'll find their way into lists, and generally I think you know, they're a good elite choice. They're a little different to how I like to play at the moment. Like, I typically don't deep strike too many things. Like, it's like 1 or 2 squads, whereas Terminators, you probably be deep striking a lot of them because they're slow, right? But you know, there's nothing wrong with that tactic. It obviously can be successful, and D King showed us that just this weekend that he beat a knight army with it, coming in from the deep strike and then having that +2 to charge from the chaplain. So I mean, it all depends on the flavor that you like to play. You know, maybe that's a strategy that you would really enjoy. But I mean, if you've started a squad, like, my advice would just be to finish the squad, because at some point in the future you'll come back to it. Like, everything goes up and down in terms of, like, they get buffed, they get debuffed. So, you know, like, I think I'm at the point now where I try not to start squads and then get excited about something else and move on, because quite often that leaves you a half-painted squad that's difficult to come back to because you might not remember exactly how you painted them. So I'd advise you to just go ahead and finish that Terminator squad. I'm sure it will be fine, and I'm sure it will find its way into some of your lists. Is it worth to magnetize Vanguard veterans? It seems that Thunderhammer Stormshield is best option, 7 Thunderhammer and 3 Chainsword if I want anti-infantry. Death Company is better, and if I don't need the survivability. Well, I'm doing a batch paint on Vanguard veterans at the moment, and it's 11 men. And right here on my desk, I have another 5 of them, 6 of them, that also need to get added to the batch paint because I'm doing Lightning Claws and Storm Shields. I think Vanguard veterans with Storm Shields are amazing. I like the Storm Shields on them a lot. I use them in a lot of my lists. I mean, some people like to play 2 Sanguinary Guard. I usually like to play 1 Sanguinary Guard, 1 Vanguard veteran. And I just think they have slightly different roles, right? Like the Vanguard veterans will not do as much damage as Sanguinary Guard, but they will obviously survive a lot better because of the Storm Shields. And yeah, I mean, I think it just gives me a little bit more flexibility. So yeah, I generally really like Vanguard veterans. I don't know if I go 7 Thunderhammers, because the Thunderhammers on them are 12 points per model, which is pretty crazy. You know, like, you're going to bump the cost of that squad up somewhere awful if you have all those Thunderhammers. Plus, I don't know if they get enough attacks to make it feel... You know, like, on a Death Company model, you get, like, a 15-point Thunderhammer, right? But, like, that model starts with 5 attacks, I think, because it's 2 attacks, 3 from the charge, 4 from the Death Company, and then 5 potentially from Savage Echoes. Whereas, like, the Vanguard Vet starts with 2 attacks. So, early game, the Vanguard Veterans with Thunderhammers are probably not going to do that much work. I haven't, you know, like, I've run them into units early game and, like, really not seen too much because, you know, we just hit Thunderhammers on 4s. So, you know, you'd have 14 Thunderhammers there, but you're only hitting on 4s, so what you actually only get 7 hits. And the Thunderhammers are only -2 now, so you kind of need... You kind of need to wait for turn 3 for like 2 reasons. One reason, I guess, would be Savage Echoes, and the other reason would be Savage Echoes for the additional attack, and Savage and Assault Doctrine for the additional point of AP, right? That's kind of how I see Vanguard Veterans at the moment. So would I magnetize them? Well, yeah. I mean, if you can, I would magnetize them for sure, because I've just had to buy 5 more. And what I have at the moment, what I have on the moment on the painting table is 3 with Thunderhammer, 3 with Power Fist, 3 with Chainsword, and then like a Sergeant with a Relic Blade and an Infernal Pistol. What I've just added to the squad is 3 more with Lightning Claws and 2 more with Chainswords. And the reason for that sometimes is, like, sometimes you have, you know, 20 points left at the end of a game and you just want one guy with an extra guy with a Chainsword in there. And sometimes, like, I honestly, like, I think point for point the Lightning Claws perform really, really well. Just because, I mean, they're weaker once the Red Thirst rule falls off, but in the turn we charge, they're generally really good. It gives you that additional attack, it gives you that reroll wound. So yeah, I've just added 3 guys with Lightning Claws. Let me check. Yeah, 3 guys with Lightning Claws and 2 more with Chainswords, so that I've got a decent spread. So we can fit in any list that we want. Death Company should get Duty Eternal. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Good evening, Northern Hero. How are you doing? I'm doing very well, thank you. White on shields is distracting. Really? Huh. I thought it looked pretty dope. I have another character that I have the white already done on the shield, and like I was generally liked it a lot. Don't know if I thought it was distracting. I mean, I'll probably put that interior rim of the shield on like black or something. But I mean,
I'm also planning on using a CF list as part of my Blood Angel successors for my gun line. What do you mean by CF? Do you mean Crimson Fist, or do you mean something else? Yeah, I mean, taking a Land Raider Crusader with Terminators is definitely an option, because Land Raider Crusader carries 16 units, doesn't it? So for Terminators it can carry a whole squad, and then it's still got room for 6, so you could have some sort of character in there that could buff the Terminators. You could have an Apothecary. You could even have like an Apothecary with a jump pack, because you still got space for that as well. And a Crusader is generally... I mean, I think a Crusader is probably not bad in 9th edition, actually, just because it does have a lot of like anti-infantry firepower, and then combined with the fact that it does have a 2+ save, and I believe it's toughness 8, so they're going to have to waste quite a lot of heavy firepower to bring it down. It's not going to be something they can shift super easily. I've run a Land Raider a few times in 9th, and I've also run Repulsor a few times in 9th, and I can tell you for sure that I thought the Land Raider was stronger. I like the white in the shield. What shade white do you use? I'm using this white, and it's from Amazon, because I find the Games Workshop white, to be honest, totally crap. Like, it's always blotchy, and it needs, like, I'm going to say it needs 10 coats to get a solid coverage. It's probably not 10, but like it's at least like 5 coats. If you want a nice smooth white, you need to put so many coats of that Games Workshop white on there. Whereas this white, that's just 1 coat, and it isn't perfect coverage, right? But the second coat for sure will do it, right? So like, this paint was actually cheaper than Games Workshop, and it comes in a model. No, it comes in like the dropper bottle, and I think this is the make. I don't know if you can see that. Vallejo, Vallejo, and I guess this is just white. But yeah, I just bought it after seeing some review on YouTube about someone else using it, and he was like basically saying the same thing, that like the Games Workshop white is shit, and this is really, really good. And yeah, ever since I picked it up, I've used it on the Sangre. I think I was painting the Sangre Guard and having trouble. I don't know if I was having trouble, I was just getting sick of having to do about 10 coats on the wings to get them to look actually white. So yeah, highly recommend this white. It seems like it's really solid choice. My Blade Guard are white, black and red, and they look pretty good. Interesting. By meme characters, I mean a BA meme character, I mean Crimson... Yeah, Crimson Fist rules, okay. It's my only non-Games Workshop paint that you... this is my only non-Games Workshop paint as well, Marcus, so I guess great minds think alike, huh? All my other paint is Games Workshop, even the sprays and the varnish, I use Games Workshop for the lot of it. It's just the white that I can't stand, which is kind of funny. I saw your champion video and I really liked it. I've always liked the idea of having a BA champion, but without a jump pack I feel like he just can't get in combat enough. Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't have to... He doesn't have to be, like, what about Strategic Reserve? Like, he's power level 3, so it's super easy to put him in Strategic Reserve, right? I mean, that's how I've used him. Or, if you're thinking of any sort of drop pod play, then that becomes an option. But, you know, when I used him as Strategic Reserve, and he came on and he made his charge, because if you come on from Strategic Reserve, smartly, I guess, or in the right situation, it's just the same as a jetpack guy coming on. You just have to make that critical charge, and he has a way to allow rerolls of charges for him and everybody around him. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I have any problem with the champion not having a jump pack. I mean, if the you know, if it was half your army not having the jump pack, might be a problem. But if it's just one guy, I think we can live with that, or at least I can, I guess. Do you know what? I hate when they have these big, massive shields and they're like right flush to their body. It's like, how in the fuck? Excuse my language. How in the hell am I supposed to paint in there? You know, like it's impossible. Like give us at least a few more millimeters clearance. I also, you know, like some people do sub assemblies. I guess, right? My experience with sub assemblies is I make such a mess of them when I'm gluing them back together. You know that, like, I'm better off just not trying to do sub assemblies. So yeah, I mean, I just wish they wouldn't stick their arms like super flush to their bodies like this, because it just makes painting them just generally more difficult than it needs to be. Or you just have to ignore part of them, I guess, and just be like, yeah, he's just not painted under there. I tend to hate that though, right? It feels like, I don't know, it feels like I'm being lazy if I just don't paint a bit that you can potentially see. I'm like, ugh. Is there a reason Games Workshop won't let him have a jump pack? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say what the reasoning is behind some of the stuff in 9th edition, because yeah, some of it makes sense, some of it is questionable, and I think I've said before that I think that they really need to hurry up and give our characters some love, because I think our named characters actually kind of suck in 9th edition. I just think with all the new company champion rules in the main Space Marine Codex, you can make stronger characters for sure. I've used the P3 paints with three shades white, that is. I've not seen the P3 paints, Greg. GW Elfin Grey is okay as a white. Corax White or White Scar are difficult to have. And yeah, I think it was Corax White that I was using, and it was generally bad. I have a Redemptor still in its box as my Relic Terms Battle Taxi. Or Redeemer, sorry, I said Redemptor. And also fit my Cataphractic Captain. I made it at the end of 8th, but then he became Legends and I lost motivation. I mean, he isn't Legends, he's just a Captain in Terminator armor now, right? I still think Cataphractic armor is cool, and I still think, I don't know, I would try not let it get you down, Highland. Someone else says Games Workshop White is awful. Ulthuan Grey for white is great coverage, but you need to highlight with a brighter white, though. Yeah. Is Ulthuan Grey a new colour? I'm not sure I've got any of Ulthuan Grey, or I'm not sure I've seen it before. Bladeguard are push fit. My shields actually come off still. Were these guys push fit and I just glued them? Maybe I guess. Maybe I shouldn't have glued that. Head to the champion to the middle of the board objectives. He'll get into combat soon enough, or strategic reserve him to come in from the sides or back. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking with the champion. They want to sell you ones with now and the ones with the jetpack in the future. That is very true, Gitley. You watch, over time, all Primaris units will get access to jump packs, and we'll have to buy them all again. We'll have to paint them all again, and yeah. God knows when that'll happen, considering all we got this edition was lackluster Death Company intercessors. Someone else says, my company champion marches up to the centre with Blade Guard and Assault Intercessors. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how I was going to be running the champion. He was going to be with these 5 Blade Guard, and I actually have made a couple of bodyguards for him as well. So I've got to add them to the painting pile. They're just company veterans. And again, I've just equipped them with Lightning Claws, 2 of them with Storm Shields. So my new list is very heavy melee focused, to get the center, right? Like a bit of shooting, a bit of melee jumping to get into the back line, and a decent amount of melee to take the middle of the board. That's my plan anyway. I guess we'll see how it goes, but I think it should be pretty strong. I do sub-assembly painting when I find there's something I can't reach, yeah. And I mean, holding the center is super important for Oath of Moment, and like, I've talked a lot in my stream about Oath of Moment. I think it's one of the best objectives. It's one of the best secondaries we can pick, right? Like, I always score super well in Oath of Moment, and it's not even hard to score. It's one of those secondaries where you can just sort of pick it and think, like, even if I do badly in this, I'll score 10 points. And if you had, if you had 3 secondaries like that, you could win every game, just because if you have a secondary you can reliably score 10 to 12 points on, you will do really well in every game you play. If you had 3 of them like that, you would almost win every game you play. I really love the Crimson Paladins for the Blade Guard idea. Yeah, I mean, I think the Crimson Paladins are super... they do look super cool. I mean, maybe one day I'll get them and I wonder if they would look cool with jump packs. If we're talking about when our Primaris unit's going to get jump packs. Crimson Paladins with some jump packs. It's just annoying the Crimson Paladins come with a bit of random weapons, right? Because they come with like Horus Heresy weapons, and you might have to like buy another squad of Tartarus Terminators or something to... I don't know if you'd get all the weapon options you need with that kit, which might be a bit annoying. I need to buy new paintbrushes. Mine are 15 years old. They're starting to get rough. Didn't use them for 11 years. Wow. This brush that I'm using is like a month old, and I'm like, I thought someone was insulting it. Because honestly, I'm almost at the point of insulting it. Because it's really not... I don't know. I mean, I think my brushes, these ones that cost like $5, they last me about 100 hours, and then I'm done with them. And get a bit annoyed when they start spraying everywhere all the time. I made a right sorter of those feet, but we'll clean that up, it's fine. I always like to rim the feet. I don't know why. I guess just like some of the first models, I decided to rim the feet. I think it makes them sit off the base like a little bit nicer. So every single model that I do, whatever colour their feet are, I do a different colour rim around their feet. Try and keep it in like context with the army that, so because these guys are having like red accents, I guess they can have the red rim around their feet. I wish they got assault cannon and heavy flamer sponsoring options and a strat which made their all guns assault for a phase. Where can I send you my list? Is this community post okay too? Yeah, head over to the community tab on the YouTube page. I'm trying to think what the last community post was. I think the last community post might have been about last week's army show. So just find that post. It should be the very top one. Just submit your list in there. The channel has been growing sort of very, very, very quickly over the last few weeks. So there is a bit of a backlog on lists, but I mean, we do 5 lists every weekend. So hopefully we'll get to yours sooner rather than later. So yeah, based on the fact that there's a bit of a backlog now, I'm actually going to start prioritizing channel membership. So if anyone submits a list that is a member, then I guess you'll get bumped up a few weeks. Yeah, because I mean, channel memberships kind of make the whole YouTube thing worth doing, I guess. So that's the plan behind that. Hey Smithy, how you doing? Is it a test stream or a super late stream? No, I'm dual streaming now. I stream on both YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Not Facebook, sorry. YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So you can catch me in either platform now. Cataphracti. What did I say? Did I say Tartarus? You always pick interesting base colours. Yeah. I don't do anything normally. Blood Angels, Cataphracti is the slow and steady Terminators. Tartarus is the speed. Oh, I'm sorry. I actually don't own any Relic Terminators. They must have come out like in an edition that I wasn't playing. So like I played 2nd edition, I played 4th edition, and I think I played a bit of 5th edition, and then I was out of the game until the beginning of 8th edition. So like if they were released in any of those numbers that I didn't mention, then I guess I just never bought any. And I mean, their rules weren't that different to the regular Terminators. Like the slow and steady one, the Cataphracti ones, they had the smaller advance, but they had the 4+ invulnerable save, right? Which was kind of nice, I guess. But yeah, in some ways, Games Workshop just seemed to be trying to shit. I want red there. They feel like they're trying to get away from invulnerable saves of better than like 4-ups, right? But it'll be really interesting when like Custodes Codex drops, right? Because like their whole army is based around like 3+ invulnerable saves. So I guess we'll see what happens. That's now going to have gone pink, red on white. Not a good look. We don't want pink Blood Angels, guys. Ugh. Mistakes were made. Did you give the Blade Guard a Blood Angel sword? Yeah, man, that's a Sangori Guard sword, right? Why not? I also used a Terminator shoulder pad from the Blood Angels kit to make him have a shoulder, like, so basically this is a whole custom arm, and then this guy as well, he has a Terminator shoulder pad, and he also has a sword from the Vanguard veterans. So like I typically do little things that like make them more Blood Angels. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's why my color schemes, I don't know, like I just do stuff with the red, the gold, and the black, and do little things like that to try and make them stand out. I think it's actually worked out pretty well. Do you know what? If I'd had more spare Terminator shoulder pads, then I possibly would have converted more of their arms. But they actually used to do a Forge World kit that was Blood Angels Terminator shoulder pads, and like that's where I had some spare ones, I believe. Like I said, I had a lot of Terminators and I bought a lot of shoulder pads, but they don't. I actually think I looked for that kit when I was doing these, and I don't think they sell it anymore, which is a bit sad, I guess. I don't know why they would stop. I guess maybe it wasn't popular, but it was popular to me anyway. I liked having the option to buy some more Terminator shoulder pads and do some cool stuff like this. 6th edition was when the new Terminators came out, yeah? And they were or even 7th, yeah. So, I mean, definitely when I wasn't playing, I think, was when they came out. I suppose Blade Guard get the toughness 5. Blade Guard don't have toughness 5, Highland. I thought they did as well, but they're not wearing Gravis. They're just regular armoured guys with a Storm Shield. So Blade Guard are toughness 4, or am I misunderstanding what you're saying? Hey Commander, hello again. I've been invited into a Crusade campaign with juicy prizes in my area. I hope you and the chat can review it really fast. The game started at 500 points and grew up to 2,000. Maybe I can review it, Mauricio. Where have you posted it? But yeah, I thought the same thing when I first started using the Blade Guard. I was like, oh, they're toughness 5, just because they seem like big, beefy models. But yeah, they're not wearing Gravis at all, so they are just still toughness 4. I mean, at toughness 5, my god, they would have been badasses. I mean, I think they're pretty bad at... When I say bad, I mean good, right? I think they're pretty badass. I think they're pretty bad at being toughness 4. They're not worse. They're 35 points a model. They have 1 more wound than a Sanguinary Guard, and they have a 4+ save, and they still have a 2 damage sword, and it's still... I mean, it's essentially an Uncarmite sword, right? Because the power sword got +1 to its strength, so... I believe it's identical to an Uncarmite sword. So it's basically, the only difference is they just move less, but they have 1 more wound and an invulnerable save, and like... I actually think, yeah, I think they're great for 35 points. 1 more wounded and invulnerable save compared to Fly, it's like a really tough trade-off, right? Like I don't feel it's a bad trade-off. I know Fly is great and it's important, but like, is it worth 1 more wound and invulnerable save? I mean, it's hard to put value on it. I mean, I obviously have this big squad of Vanguard veterans that I've been painting and talking about a lot, but like in the new list that I'm building, I want to have those Vanguard veterans finished anyway because I've had them for too long and it's a crime that they're not painted. But in my new list, I'm running Blade Guards over the Vanguard veterans. I mean, the points just worked as well, but... And like I have a strategy to take the middle with close combat, which I guess is fine. But yeah, I mean, I think the Blade Guards are generally really good for 35 points. What's going on with the on-screen chat? The screen chat has been going wonky. Has it been going wonky? What's happening? I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like it's... I mean, it looks like it's copying what's happening. Apparently, everything that can go wrong tech-wise in the stream tonight is going to go wrong. So I'm sorry about that. It keeps repeating the same part of the chat for a while. Okay. It repeats old messages. Oh, I see it. I see it spamming out loads of messages now. Okay, I don't know. I can switch the chat over to the restream chat. Give me a sec. There we go. Everything is... Yeah, it does it when I'm not looking. Everything's trolling me tonight. It's fine. If the chat... I think... Let me know if the chat goes mad again. Hopefully it's better now. So, apparently in my streams, you're not allowed to chat. You're not allowed to use microphone. Next week's stream we'll be doing sign language, and I'll have to write everything down on a bit of paper. Oh, it's been happening in other streams as well. Okay, so yeah, I mean the Blade Guard. I think you just have to think about how you want to play the Blade Guard, right? Like, if you're wanting a unit that goes and tackles the enemy's backline, or you want a super aggressive unit that gets some combat early, then I guess Blade Guard aren't that unit, right? But, like I said, my list has Death Company, my list has Sanguinary Guard, so those are the units that I can do that with, and essentially the Blade Guard will be for holding the middle of the map, and I think it should work pretty well. I guess only time will tell. But I mean, I did fight up against Iron Hands when I had the Blade Guard, 5 of them, and they did hold the centre of the map against a Leviathan Dreadnought and a Contemptor Dreadnought, and I'm not actually sure if the second Dreadnought died, but the Blade Guard was in the middle, causing problems and causing the objective to be contested at the end of the game. So they both Dreadnoughts didn't manage to kill the Blade Guard. Sure, it was a 5-man squad, but I mean, I'll have to see. I mean, like, obviously I've bought Vanguard veterans and I'm painting them right now as well as these guys, and they're in a good state. At some point there'll be maybe a couple more weekends on them and they'll be finished. So I am gonna try the Blade Guard in the next couple of games I play, and depending on how they do, I mean, they may end up getting swapped back out for Vanguard veterans, because I do rate Vanguard veterans very highly, but I'm just wondering if I need quite so much jump units, and maybe I just want like a slightly tankier unit of Blade Guard veterans to do some work. I guess we'll see. These are quite cool models as well, actually. I like them a lot. You forgot to bless the machine spirit before the stream. I certainly did, yeah. I need to bless this damn computer before the stream as well. Speaking of tech issues, I wonder how Blood Angel's Tech Marines handle the Red Thirst or Worths, the Black Rage, when they are training on Mars. I don't know if... I'm trying to think. I've read quite a few Blood Angels books, right? But like, I don't remember ever a Tech Marine character in any of the books. I feel like occasionally they might say like the Tech Marines were healing the vehicle or something, right? Or conversing with the machine spirits. But yeah, we don't have a named Tech Marine, do we? We need to start a petition for a named Tech Marine. Maybe they can do that when they finally update all our characters, because they're all out of date now and a bit weak. I like how on the Facebook group, like every day someone's posting up like a new bike captain, right? Like just everybody has made bike captains. Like they're so good right now. I can't wait to play again, because hopefully by the time I can play, I'm going to field 2 bike captains. I'm going to field a chapter master, and I'm going to field a captain in the Death Company. And the Death Company one may be running the Teeth of Terra, which gives them 10 attacks. Or he may end up running the Wrath of Baal, which we talked about as well, is kind of just as awesome. Shit, no, not the Wrath of Baal, sorry, the Hammer of Baal. The Hammer of Baal, get that right. He'll run the Hammer of Baal, and it will be awesome. Yeah, these guys are these models are cool at AF. I don't know if I need 7 of them right now. Probably not, but I mean, I made 7, so I'm just going to paint 7 of them in a winner. I guess this comes back to the guy that was asking about the Terminators, like, just should I finish the squad? Yeah, just finish the squad. It's nice to have a finished squad. You know, finish them, base them, transfer them, and then move on. And in a year's time, when you look back at it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I've got that Terminator squad, and now they've been buffed or something. Because if you think about it, regular Terminators were unplayable for like the entirety of 8th edition, right? Like, they just weren't good. I want to say at the start of 8th edition they just had 1 wound. Like, I don't even think they gave them 2 wounds at the start of 8th edition. I think they just had 1 wound. And then they buffed them to 2 wounds, but now obviously they're 3 wounds. Waiting on a bike kit to do some kit bashing for a chapter master on a bike and a Death Company captain on a bike. Yes, that is what I'm going to be painting as soon as I finish the Vanguard veterans over there on my painting table. I'm going to be painting Death Company captain on a bike, a chapter master on a bike. I'm going to paint my company champion. I'm going to paint a utility librarian that we talked about in last week's video. And then I'm also going to paint maybe the Librarian Dreadnought, because it's just, again, I've had that Librarian Dreadnought too long now. It's a crime that it's not painted. I mean, I could say that about a lot of stuff that I own, I guess. But we are always trying, right? I'm reading The Devastation of Baal right now, just started. Oh, that's awesome, brother. I really enjoyed the Dante series of books. I quite enjoyed... Yeah, I mean... I think it was been a few years between The Devastation of Baal and the Darkness in the Blood. I kind of hope that they could just pick up the pace. Like, I would buy more if they wrote more. I would buy more for sure, because I think the story, I think the narrative right now is actually really good with the Blood Angels, and I guess, like, yeah, I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want to spoil the book for you, Mark. But yeah, it's a great book, and definitely when you finish it, consider getting the next one in the series, because I really enjoyed it as well. And I mean, if you've read it, then you've caught up. So when the new one comes out, or when they announce another new one, you'll be right caught up. So, is there any good reason to take a detachment of Flesh Tearers? At the moment, unfortunately, no. Because if you take a detachment of Flesh Tearers, you'll lose your Super Doctrine. And I think that's personally, I think it's a really stupid rule, right? Like, I can understand if you took a detachment of Ultramarines, you would lose your Super Doctrine, right? Because it's like, they're two different chapters. But, and I guess you could argue, yeah, Blood Angels, Flesh Tearers, they are two different chapters, but they're literally a successor chapter of the Blood Angels. And I kind of feel like, you know, like when I was looking at it, I think it was someone mentioned in the video, was like Gabriel Seth can fight twice, and he gets like 10 attacks with his chainsword. And he generally is a monster in close combat, so you could like have Seth in a drop pod, and that would be super powerful. Have him in there with, I don't know, some Death Company or some Company Champions or something. You could do so much work with Gabriel Seth in a drop pod. However, I guess the thing is, if you did take those Flesh Tearers, then you lose your Super Doctrine, and I don't think it's worth it. I mean, the interesting thing to me right now is, I mean, like, because I've said a few times, like, our named characters aren't super great at the moment, then, I mean, if you really have an affinity to Flesh Tearers, you could probably just play a full Flesh Tearers army and make your own named character, or make your own characters using the chapter upgrades, right? And, I mean, I forget the Flesh Tearers Super Doctrine. I think they still get the +1 to wound. They don't have the +1 to charge and advance, but they have like every roll of 6 in the close combat is an additional -1 AP, I think. I don't play Flesh Tearers much, or, you know, like I've read the rules when I was going through the codex, but that's really as far as I go with Flesh Tearers. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, just because we lose our Super Doctrine, it really makes me think, no, it's not viable to take them. Or, I mean, I guess take them if you want, but just be aware that, like, I think the Super Doctrine is one of their strongest characteristics, right? That +1 to wound and +1 to charge is generally super useful. I don't know if I would give it up to just take some Flesh Tearers, but I mean, you could. I finally did my chapter champion after your video. That's good to hear. I mean, that was one of the reasons that I did the video, was just like, I didn't realise before, probably didn't realise until like a month ago now, just how strong that champion was. I ran him in one game and was like, wow, this is a great character for 70 points. I needed to tell people about that, and at the time it was one of the most well received videos on the YouTube channel, which is nice. It's hard to always know what people want to watch, right? Like, because sometimes you do a video and you're super proud of it and you're like, yeah, people are going to love this video, and then you put it up and like nobody watches it. So it was nice that the chapter champion video was watched a lot. Do you know what, the Librarian video that I did last week was exactly that, in that, like, I thought, like, hey, people will love to know about how useful this Librarian is that can take 4 different powers and 3 from one discipline. This is really strong. if you're not running it, you should at least know about the rule and consider it. And like, yeah, it just didn't get any views. So that's just the way of YouTube, I guess. My desk is slowly becoming a 50-50 mix of Blood Angel's sisters, and I have to say, painting their tiny legs and such stress, these old eyeballs. Yeah, I have a magnifying glass. Like when I'm doing base colors, like you'll probably never actually see me do like really detailed painting on the stream because, well, maybe I'll do it at some point, but like I have a magnifying glass that I use when I'm painting like all the really high detail bits, and it's like a 4x magnifier, and yeah, I just generally feel like the magnifying glass makes me a better painter just because I can actually see. I don't know if my eyesight was ever good enough to see these little models, but do you know what, it certainly isn't now. Isn't there a Blood Angels animation GW is making? Maybe we can get some nice characters then. I think you're right. I think they're making a cartoon or a mini-series or something for the Blood Angels. I mean, it was announced a long time ago now, so hopefully we should hear something soon. One thing I wish was played upon the devastation of Balbook, how the fact that Sanguinius' body is buried under the Arx Angelicum, how much stronger would a swarm get if they could consume a Primarch? I hadn't even realised. Did they actually say Sanguinius' body was buried under the Arx Angelicum? It's been a while since I read that book. In fact, you know what? They might well have done, because somebody said to me, they were like, "Oh, there's a bit in the book where Dante rides on a bike," and I was like, "There was?" Because I didn't remember that as well. So I don't know what power the Primarch's body would have, in that he's been dead for like 10,000 years at this point. I mean, I don't actually know what year he was killed. I am reading that new Horus Heresy, Siege of Terra, so maybe they'll mention the actual year in that series. But yeah, I mean, he's been dead for so long, and I know that like Corbolo has the last drop of his blood inside the Red Grail, and I kind of thought that it was his blood that gave them the power. So but who knows, eh? I'm definitely not the biggest lore buff. Like, I've read the books and I generally like them. And like, I'll, you know, like every time a new book is released, I will read it. But like, yeah, in terms of like knowing all the lore stuff 100%, yeah, I'm not that guy. Blood Angels is definitely one of the armies you don't want to bland. That doctrine is so strong. Yeah, that's very true. You mentioned champions there. Flesh Tear with Seth and 3 company champions out of a drop pod with... Yeah, I mean, like... Seth... Yeah, I mean... The Flesh Tearers coming out of a drop pod with Seth would be crazy strong. And that's what I was looking at and was like, this would be super cool. And then when I read it and was like, oh, but you lose your super doctrine. Kind of put me off. I still think it would be reasonably strong, but... I mean, I guess you have to value in how much that super doctrine does across the rest of the battlefield. Probably quite a lot, right? Every time you're fighting into something higher, getting that +1 to wound is like... it's one of... Yeah, it's just like one of our strongest traits, really. Or strongest characteristics, I guess. I like the character breakdown ones, as converting HQ squads is one of my passions. Yeah, I mean, I really like how we finally got the ability to make our own characters, right? And I'm just so glad that the new characters that we can make are like, generally feel like there's options there to make them quite powerful. You know, like, we're talking about this Death Company guy who gets like a shitload of attacks and can do a ton of damage. We're also talking about like the Chapter Master, who's super survivable. You know, like dishing out Thunderhammer attacks the whole game while giving huge Chapter Master rerolls. Yeah, I like the new company champion stuff a lot. Hey Blood Angels Commander, just a heads up, I thought the Librarian video was super useful and I've bought the bits to make a sweet conversion. How did you take Librarian powers from 2 disciplines? So the only way you can take from more than 1 discipline is by taking the relic from the Space Marine Codex. It's called the Tomb of Malachor. or Malcador, sorry, Malcador. I think I'm saying it wrong, probably still. Malcador, or Mal. Like I was calling it Malachor. I think that's a planet from Star Wars. So if you take that relic, the wording of it on it says you can take 1 power from any discipline you have access to. So as a Psyker, you obviously have access to. As a Blood Angel Psyker, you obviously have access to the Librarian discipline and the Sanguinary discipline, but you can only take it on like a Space Marine Librarian, right? Mephiston can't have it, or Librarian Dreadnought can't have it. So that's why you need basically a regular Librarian or a Librarian Terminator armor, like I started the other night, but haven't gone back to yet. He will be getting on the painting table soon as well. And yeah, you need the Tomb of Malachor relic. So basically it lets you take 3 powers from the Sanguinary discipline and 1 from the Librarius, or vice versa. And, generally think that, like, Null Zone is just too good a power not to pick, I feel like. And then I guess you just have to work around what else you want or what else you feel will be good. I think the way that I was planning on running my Terminator Librarian was going to be like, so take Null Zone, take Veil of Time, which means that I can make my units reroll their charge and fight first. Then take maybe either like Fury of the Ancient to buff a unit in terms of strength, toughness, and attacks, or take Psychic Fortress to obviously give that 5+ invulnerable bubble. And then final power, because I've got the Terminator armor one, he obviously isn't going to be mobile, so we'll take some Wings of Sanguinius from the Librarius thing, so he can still fly around and become mobile. I mean, some people would just take a regular Librarian with a jump pack. I'm just scared at how easy he would be to kill. His blood is in every blood priest. I guess his blood is in all the priests, but I think the last drop of his blood, I thought they said the last drop of his blood was in the Red Grail or something like that. I need to double check. But I think that used to be on the used to be in the Codex about Corbolo, that he was the keeper of the remains of Sanguinius' blood, right? I'm going to say every name wrong tonight, apparently. Yes. What did I say? Corbulo, sorry. I never run him. Corbulo is he's a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he's our only named character that doesn't have a jump pack, right? And like, he has a 6-inch aura, and like all our other main troops have jump packs. So it's always confused me why he doesn't have a jump pack. I guess Tycho doesn't have a jump pack either, I suppose. But it's like all of our characters have jump packs and need to be in close combat range. And we have this character that can do a great buff, and his buff actually works. His buff works in 1 and 2 in the game, right? Like, it doesn't work in turn 3, 4, and 5 because in turn 3, 4, and 5 we're already in Savage Echo. So his buff literally only works the first 2 turns of the game, and his buff only has a 6-inch range. So, like, this is why I'm saying they need to revisit our characters, right? Like, who's the designer that designed this? And, are we literally being trolled? Like, I know, we'll give the Blood Angels a great melee buff that's only 6 inches. How about we put it on the character that's got no jump pack? That is a great idea, my friend. Players will totally get good use of it. I mean, technically you can do a drop pod thing, but... And like you saw at the beginning of the stream, I have just bought a drop pod, so maybe I will do some sort of drop pod action, but... feels a little bit strange, right, as a Blood Angel, because you've got so many... jetpacks. Normally you wouldn't really even be considering a drop pod, but I guess it is what it is. I think the Angel's Exemplar would work with for a successor chapter, right? Because you would all mentions of the words Blood Angels you would switch out for the successors chapter name. So I think it would be fine to use Angel's Exemplar on a successor. I'd have to check. But I think I did have a look. Because the Flesh Tearers also have that really interesting suit of Terminator armor where they're allowed to make a move, make an advance, and then make a charge. And I think they get some bonus to their movement or charge roll as well. I think it's called like the Crimson Plate, and I think it was previously supposed to be owned by, I guess, the previous chapter master of the Flesh Tearers before Seth. So I mean that's a pretty cool relic to have as well. Especially if you had some sort of Terminator character. The Terminators are slow, that's their one problem, so this guy being able to advance as well is super interesting, I guess. What do people think of the Blood Angels Omnibus? I have been waiting to get the Blood Angels Omnibus on audiobooks, but I guess it's not come out, and I don't know why. I really like the audiobooks because it means, I have a young daughter, it means that I can kill two birds with one stone, right? I can listen to an audiobook and I can do my painting because my time is very limited. So I haven't read next time I go on vacation or something, maybe I'll pick up the omnibus. But I haven't actually read it. Have you read it, Covered in Bees? What do you think? Tell me if it's worth buying, because if it is worth buying after COVID has all ended, maybe I'll buy it and I'll read it next time I go on a long flight or something. Sometimes I have to fly for work, actually. Last year I had to do a 16-hour flight or something for work, London to San Francisco. So, something to pass the time on the flight is always a good idea. The only living character that I don't see becoming Primaris is Lamartis and the Sanguinor. Yeah, I mean, the Sanguinor, I guess, is a bit of a doozy because he's all elusive and I mean, he's kind of got no... I was going to say, he's kind of got no personality, right? I'm trying to think. The books that I've read that included the Sanguinor, yeah, I mean, he appears and he helps when he's needed, but I don't even know if he really speaks, right? So that it might be weird for him to become Primaris, but I mean, the rate they're rolling out the Primaris characters, it's how long have we had Primaris and we've just had Mephiston? So we've had one character in 3 years. So at this rate, it's going to take 10 years before we get a few more characters Primaris. And I think if they don't think long and hard about the rules, then for me, I'm going to struggle to... I'd really like to feel Dante. Obviously, I like Dante a lot. He's a cool character. I mean, the only other Blood Angels commander that's as good as Dante is obviously me on this channel. Blood Angels commander, right? No, I'm joking. But, I would love to feel Dante. He is a cool character. He is iconic. We've had him for so many years. He's cool in the books. I generally like this newest book with him a lot. It was one of those books when it finished, you were like, ugh, I have to wait more years now for the story. I just want to know what's going to happen next, And, if they just do what they did to Mephiston and give him +1 toughness, +1 wound, that's going to be... I don't know. I'll just be disappointed. Because these new characters that you can make from the Codex are obviously super fun and super competitive. And I did hear about... maybe we need to start naming some of these new characters we've made because they are sort of iconic. And give them a name and maybe over time Games Workshop can adopt it. Dang, work call, missed the last 15 minutes. I've been off for 45 minutes. No problem, Mark. Malachor 5 was I thought Malachor was a Sith planet. Was that from Knights of the Old Republic? The Malachor relic is bad since there are others that are more worth taking. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a bad relic to have, but it is nice to get that power from the other disciplines. My army might be better as Flesh Tearers. Yeah, I mean, they're not bad at the moment, that's for sure. There are no Blood Angels fanboys in the GW rule teams for editions and editions. They've always been half-arsed and infuriating. Well, you know, maybe if we can get enough following on this channel, I can petition them to ask my opinion for the next round of Blood Angels rules, and I can tell them exactly what we're all thinking, right? I mean, I don't know if any of the other chapters have a dedicated YouTube channel. I mean, maybe they do. You know, I didn't really look very hard for it. But yeah, no, we're gonna, you know, like someone was asking earlier in the stream, are you ever gonna do Dark Angels and stuff? No, for the moment, we're just gonna stick with the Blood Angels. I mean, they're obviously what I'm working on all the day in it, or all the time rather, and it's what I've got it's what I'm most passionate about, I guess. So we'll just keep sticking with them. We'll see how big we can grow, and maybe before 10th edition we can do a video that's all about complaining about our characters and why they're not good, and we can get it like we could get it shared enough on the Games Workshop community website where Games Workshop would actually maybe watch it, or someone in their team would watch it and be like, yeah, okay, we hear you, we will we'll actually go back to the drawing board with your characters rather than just update them for the new edition, which is like, well, you know, you got one more wound and one more toughness. That's Lord Commander Dante to you. Yeah, okay. You know, he's an old man, dude. I'm in my prime, so if Dante does, you know, and he's got the Rubicon to go through, so you never know. Chapter Master on a bike, Bob over here, he might be our new commander, you better watch out. The Sandgorder did speak to Dante in the Dante book. He's on the Thunderhawk or Battle Barge, whispering to them hope. Yeah, I mean, I remember that sort of. There wasn't so... You didn't say so much though, right? What model do you use as the base for the company champion? Well, I mean, that's the great thing about the company champion is I'd say if you're going to make a company champion, like, do it in style. Some people have bought the Praetor from Forge World, and he looks super cool. Other people, I guess, have just used, you know, like any old Vanguard veteran, Sternguard veteran, given him the sword that he needs. I have mine over here. I can show you in just a second, and I haven't. He is on the painting pile because I'm trying to paint this new army. I guess this is why I'm painting these Blade Guard, because they are in this new army. So this new army I'm trying to make is going to be like super competitive. It's going to use a lot of meta stuff, and you know, use the new Death Company rules and everything. And this guy is nowhere right now, but this is going to be my company champion. So this is a conversion from this is actually better say his name right. Raldoron, Raldoron, and he's actually, or this model was the first. He was the first chapter master of the Blood Angels during the Horus Heresy. So, I mean, was he the chapter master, the one like right before Dante? I don't think so. I think there was another one in there, but I'm not sure we know the other one's name. Maybe somebody in chat knows it, but I certainly don't. Dante's actually talking a lot in one of the other, in the Darkness of the Blood book. He talks a lot about his history, and but I don't think he specifically said who the previous chapter master that was before him. I mean, I read that book only came out like a month ago, right? Or I think it came out at the beginning of December now, so 2 months ago, I guess. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he never said who was the chapter master before him. Dante is super cool, but the model and his rules are just not up to scratch. I have no interest at all in buying him or fielding him, which sucks because you want to move the main Blood Angels dude in a Blood Angels list. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how I feel, Benjamin, as well right now with Dante. There's just so many better options. And I mean, some people are still playing Dante, you know, more power to them for keeping up the good fight, I guess. But for me, like, as much as I maybe want to keep up the good fight, I also like to win. So I mean, if I was playing like a a fluff game, maybe I would feel Dante, you know. But like for the most part, if I'm playing a competitive game, then he's very expensive and he's too easy to. I just think he's too easy to die with toughness 4 and 6 wounds. Right, you can kill him with a single Melta pistol, not Melta pistol, an Infernal pistol or a Melta gun. I guess you could kill him with that as well. But yeah, I'd like some random Sister of Battle, just shoot him in, and then use Miracle Dice and just instantly kill him. And there's nothing you can do. It's not. He's not survivable. He's not great. The Bike Smash Chapter Master. Yeah, I mean that is where we are right now. Yeah, Lord. Yeah. Okay, is Lord Commander Dante, Lord Regent of the Imperium Nihilus? Yes, you are right, and that is true. But he is an old man, and he needs a better invulnerable save, and he needs a feel no pain. And honestly, he probably needs more than 6 wounds, especially in the current multi-melta meta. Unless you just like him dying in one shot. I just can't justify him in the list. You know, like, if he gets separated at any point, like your Sanguinary Guard make their charge and Dante fails his, he's out in the open, and he'll just get shot straight off the table. Whereas, like, the Bike Chapter Master can get shot and just be like, just literally laugh it off. I think I showed a bunch of you guys the video where the Bike Chapter Master got shot by 12 Melta guns, or, well, 12 Melta rifle shots, I guess. So it was a squad of 6 Eradicators shooting total annihilation, or total obliteration, sorry, into the Chapter Master. So it was essentially 12 Melta shots, and he took 2 wounds. I mean, I wonder how many times you would need to run that simulation for Dante to actually survive. I'm guessing like 100? Like, I just think the chances are like slim to none. Whereas the Bike Chapter Master just sort of laughed it off. We'll storm GW board meeting dressed as Death Company and just yell about Horus till they revamp the models. Yeah, I mean, we could. I mean, that's a worthy cause for post-pandemic Britain, I guess. Storm the board meeting and tell them that that we need them to actually think about our characters. The previous chapter master to Dante fell to the Black Rage right after being appointed. Ralderon was the first chapter master after the Codex was set up. Yeah, so what was the name on the previous chapter master then? Do you actually know? Like, is he in the lore somewhere and I've just missed it? Or did they just say he fell to the Black Rage and, you know, there was not too much else about him said? Alright, it's coming up to midnight, guys, and I usually head to bed around now. So, probably just going to finish up the shoulder pad, answer any final questions in the chat, and then, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with a video on the brand new Storm Speeder, which is going up for pre-order on Saturday. So, if you have some time tomorrow, please check out the video and leave me a comment and a like. You know that YouTube algorithm really... It's so dumb. It'll only show the video to people. It'll only show the video to more people if it feels people are engaging with the video. And what that means is if I get thumbs up and comments. Apparently, thumbs down actually are important as well because it shows people are engaging. But I mean, as much as I'd like you to thumbs down my videos, I'd much rather it if you would thumbs up them. So if you have time tomorrow, please check out the new video. I mean, it'll be useful if you're thinking of buying the new what did I call it? The new Storm Speeder, which is basically the Primaris Land Speeder. So it'll be useful if you're interested in that. And yeah, I mean, if you can engage with it, that would be super awesome of you as well. I know a lot of you guys already do that, and it's super appreciated. Was it Dave, the Blood Angel? I don't know if it was Dave. You're just cracking me up tonight, Benjamin. Hello, why are they gold? Why would they not be gold? I mean, they're veterans and they're Blood Angels. So, like, you know, why would they not be gold? No, I mean, I'm just doing them gold because the way I see it, or so I have a lot of models in my army that are red, obviously, right? We're Blood Angels. So we have our Death Company, who are in black. We have all our troops in red. And then I have other units in red as well, you know, like Aggressors, Eradicators, you know, whatever, you know, like Company Veterans. So I just decided that some of my other veterans, I was just going to switch it up and I was going to do them gold because I feel like they're one step away from joining the Sanguinary Guard, right? Like, because the Sanguinary Guard are basically the first company veterans. So these are like, these guys are like on the path to, as Sanguinary Guard fall to death, or the Black Rage, I guess. These guys in gold are like, they're waiting in the wings, ready to be promoted. They've done everything they need to be. There's just not space, or there's not, you know, so they're there. And you know, I'll show you the veterans because I've got them on the table behind me. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to finish this last helmet. But that's why they're gold. Thanks for the stream, buddy. No, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll probably be back on Saturday night, I think, for another hobby stream. I tend to try and do hobby streams on Thursdays and Saturdays. We have a live army show on Sundays, and then we have a new YouTube video on usually, definitely always Fridays, but usually Mondays or Tuesdays. And we are going to get back to a point where we're going to do live shows every week, or live battles every week. So that's going to happen as soon as the lockdown ends. And for the next wave of live battles, we're going to do no Forge World for a little while, just because like some people were saying that they don't own any Forge World. They'd like to see battles with just units that everybody has. And I think that's a fair point. So that's something that I'm going to endeavour to do over the next 6 months or whatnot. I have probably a few thousand points of Forge World, and I actually bought this Forge World tank a few weeks ago. This is another super heavy tank, just that I was working on the channel, but we'll get back to it once we've painted up some more of this, so we can do some fully non-Forge World battles. So yeah, let me show you the Vanguard veterans that are gold. So these guys are very much a work in progress. But I think they're quite cool, and like I said, like, I mean, this is a Death Company jump pack on it, so I just do little customizations. This is probably a Sanguinary Guard head with the wreath. Just do little customize, and that's a Death Company sword as well, actually. But these are Vanguard veterans, and I just thought that they might look quite cool in gold as well. And I mean, they do the same sort of elite troop killing role, so that's why they're gold Elvis. No reason, just because I thought it looked cool. Worth adding comments to the stream videos, not just right in the chat. I mean, you can add a comment to the stream video, but I mean, it's better. I think if you're commenting on the videos, I really appreciate if you do like the actual releases. The streams, I guess the streams are just, you know, bit more casual, bit more fun to hang out on. Anyone else going to be watching the Las Vegas Open this weekend? I don't know where I got not from. I will definitely try. Are you in the Facebook group, Gitley? Thank you, Mark, for tuning in. I'll definitely be watching the Tabletop Tactics games. Yeah, I would like to watch the Blood Angels game, actually. If you're in the Facebook group and you could post when the game is going to happen, that would be super helpful. I'll definitely have a look at watching it. Belarius was the first Blood Angels chapter master. Ralidorn was the second one, actually. Okay, I didn't even know. I feel like I knew that, but it's been a while. I just got my Vanguard vets in the mail today. Awesome. Let me know what weapon options you used for them, because yeah, I've put Storm Shields in all of mine, but I mean, I just love invulnerable saves, I guess. There's only a handful of people selected. Does your friend have a channel? I am indeed in the Facebook group. I will do it. Yeah, I know. I think Tabletop Titans are playing, and I think there was another list that Mark posted in the Facebook group yesterday. Anyway, it is getting late now, so I'm going to take off for the evening. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you all have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow for the video on the Storm Speeder, and then if you're around Saturday night, we'll hang out Saturday night. Do you know what? If the Tabletop Maybe we'll while I'm streaming painting something, maybe we'll watch the tabletop game. We'll see, or if there's some sort of like recap on the match, we'll maybe watch the match and we can talk over it on stream. That might be quite cool. So yeah, we'll do something Friday or Saturday as well, and I'll see you guys all soon. So yeah, have a great night, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope to see you all soon. By the blood are we made. Peace.